Hi, everybody. This is Cyndi Casemier at C2C Gallery. I am in Arizona visiting children right now. I've got curtains behind me because the sun's coming in, and I'm with Michael Kifer. He's in Richland, Michigan. And Michael has been with C2C, I think, since the beginning. Probably it's been 9, 10 years.
Yep,
And Michael's been a potter for, how long have you been a potter?
45 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we won't ask your age. I think we're actually not that far apart in age. But so I don't know if you remember this. I was thinking last night about this chat, and I was like, when did I first meet you? And I remembered, at least I think it was. We were at Mike Taylor's West Michigan Potters Guild potluck, and it was in the summertime. And I had just moved from Vermont to Michigan, back to my hometown, and I started chatting with you.
Mhm.
And I remember that you told me you got started with pottery when you were in Florida.
No, I got started when I was in Battle Creek. I grew up there, and I went to a community college and actually needed a studio class to fulfill my scholarship money. And so I took a clay class, and I was actually a painter at the time because clay is easy,
Oh, really?
and started there. And I went through another semester in clay, and then ended up going to um, Western for another semester to study glazing. And right after that, I went to Florida to apprentice with Frank Colson
Oh,
in Sarasota. And so I spent a year and a half with him. We also cast bronze and made clay and made equipment and built kilns for other people. And so that was how I learned to do what I do.
okay. And so with when you were with him, did
Mhm.
you did he have a formal apprentice program? Like did he put you through certain paces?
um, he was in the studio every day, and so was I. And I think it was as much an osmosis as a formal, this is what you need to do. There was always a soft critique going on. And again, I learned how to pour bronze with him. We uh, installed sculpture. I mean, it was wasn't a specific apprenticeship to clay because I also learned how to build fiber kilns and do a lot of different things. It was more of an apprenticeship to him.
Okay, all right. So you were his right-hand person and just
It
kind of did
was,
whatever he needed.
yep, that was the end of 76 through 77.
Okay.
And then after that, I came back to Michigan and started a separate studio, and I had a studio ever since then.
Okay. Have you been in Richland the whole time or have you had to move your
No,
studio a couple times?
I moved back to Battle Creek, and then for a while I was in Vicksburg area, which is south of Kalamazoo, Michigan, and was there for a while, and then moved to Richland when I got married. And
Okay.
my studio is the lower level of my house
Mhm.
as a walkout. And one of the true advantages was I raised my daughters. I was the at-home parent.
Right.
Anytime something needed to be done, I was able to do that. And I think that was a huge advantage for me.
Yeah, that's definitely, one of the nice things about being a artist or a ceramic artist is that you can do things throughout your day and be a part of the family and participate and not have
Because
to.
I was only 2 houses from the bus stop. Sometimes the kids' friends used to wander over and we would do little clay projects.
That's cool. That's cool. So
Well, it was fun.
what? So you fell in love with pottery and kind of walked away from painting.
Well, think I infused the two together.
Yes, and we're going to
When you
talk.
look at the work, yeah, I see my work more as three-dimensional canvas than I do pots.
Right, definitely, no question about it. So that's one thing I always wondered. do you, because for me, your pottery is kind of like abstract paintings. And
Yeah.
do you sketch? Do you think of pattern? You do?
Yes, I don't as much as I used to, but I have a sketchbook or sketches on other things, just laying around, and I try and do them sometimes in color to see if I can come up with a combination.
Okay.
Um, Used to do that an awful lot. I used to have a sketchbook that I would go back to. The other thing that I found is that I uh, I draw inspiration from people and things around me. My kids, when they were young, very young, we used to have large prints of newsprint paper that we would roll out on the decorating table, and we would set in color. And I would find color ideas from what they were coloring and what I would do. So
Yeah, kids are amazing because they don't worry about right or wrong and they're just intuitively doing things.
there is no right or wrong.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding.
We just think there is.
Sometimes there's better, sometimes there's not so great, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's where you think that it's wrong, and that's the first thing that somebody buys when you go to a sale.
isn't that the truth? It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
And
So
they've been looking for that forever.
so how do I know it's been a really strange last year, but
Mhm.
normally, how does your week lay out? Like, do you have a pattern or does it change every single week? Or do you try to, keep up, a routine going so you know what you're doing?
Usually I work most days, including weekends. If I don't have a show, it's just a rhythm that I get into. We create work. I have somebody that I work with, and he helps me get ready for shows that we have. And sometimes I do the farm market here in Kalamazoo. That always is interesting, or we're sending work to galleries, and that seems to be what drives me to do more work. If there's an upcoming show, especially, it's nice to have something new for that.
Right. Do you draw sketches for not only paint or glaze patterns, but do you draw sketches for new forms, or do
Yeah,
you just
both.
let that happen?
Yeah. In fact, that's mostly where the color goes is on a new idea, a new form.
Okay.
You know, doesn't seem to be just a sketch of color. Sometimes it's more come up with a form, in pencil, and then start adding colors to it to see where the colors work best on it.
Right. Do you do like a warm up? Like I have a girlfriend who she always throws like 10 cups to get started in the morning and then she goes into the next things that she does. Do you have a warm up routine?
No,
Yeah, I
I drink
don't either. Huh?
I drink coffee.
Yep. As you can see, I also
No,
yeah.
I used to do that when I did stoneware. I did stoneware for 12, 13 years, and that was what I did. But now it's more of been doing this long enough that I don't seem to need to do that. I find that it's just a what I need, whether I'm going to hand build or I'm going to throw or I'm going to cast, to
Mhm.
start work.
So when you say cast, what do you mean by that?
I make a form. I invested in plaster. When the form comes out, you have a negative, and that's put on what is a casting table. And there's liquid slip that goes into it, and it sets for a period of time. It's dumped out. The form dries, and then you get a piece out of it. The mug bodies, the vases right now are done by casting.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. And
Yeah,
some people think that that's like cheating or something, and I don't think it is because I've seen that you made the first piece, and
right.
all you're doing is letting yourself replicate what you made originally.
Right. I think that people that find that as a shortcut, need to learn how to cast and make their own molds, and then they'll stop thinking that.
Yeah, no kidding. There's no question about that. I do that with some of my small houses. And I always feel like by doing that, then I spend the time on the decorating instead of on
Right. And I'm looking for canvas. I'm not looking for, how I get it made, because I also hand build forms. We used to extrude lamps. They're a way to get a canvas for me that I can decorate. I'm more about the color and the decoration.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, hold up one of your bowls and turn it around and show people all of the information and the patterns. So like I said, to me, that just looks like it's a abstract painting.
Yeah, it's a three-dimensional painting. That's
Yeah.
exactly how I see it.
Yep,
And then the inside looks like that.
right. Yeah,
So, yeah. And I understand people that make pots and throw pots, and then the glaze has a certain way that it joins with the pot that they're making, and that's what I understand. And what I have, all the color that you see here, I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's a wall of color.
Mhm.
Those are all test tiles for what are called underglaze or slips. And so when I'm ready to put the first firing in, all the decoration is done.
Okay, well, that's cool. So do you, are the colors that you use, are they what we call underglazes and you put a clear glaze over top? Or
Yes,
are you using, you are, okay.
yeah, exactly. The pieces are raw when they're decorated. That's
Mhm.
why when you look at this and you see things like this, that's graffito through the underglaze, and it goes right into the white clay body.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's why I do it on a raw. Um, so everything goes in after the bisque firing. There's a tank that has clear glaze in it,
Oh,
and that is how things get glazed and put back in and fired.
okay, all right. And so what's your breakage average with, if you're doing it with raw clay?
Did I tell you how long I've been doing this?
I know, 45 years.
So very, very little.
Okay, well, that's great. I
Well,
was talking to someone the other day and they were saying that because they also glaze with clay that hasn't been bisque fired, or they do their underglaze decorating and spraying
Mhm.
on unglazed pottery and, or excuse me, unbisqued pottery. So just
Right.
the dry clay. And they say that because they pour in and dump out, lots of times they're moving too slow and it falls apart on them.
Right. That's what I did when I was apprenticing with Frank Colson.
Uh-huh.
We never bisque anything. We raw glazed everything.
Okay, all right. So that's what you
And he
look
used to do platters that were 24 inches that hung on the wall, and the glaze was applied by spraying
for. Uh-huh.
and loaded directly in the kiln, and then candled overnight, warmed up overnight, and fired the next day,
Hmm.
cooled for a day, and brought out and wired to hang, and they went right to the galleries in town.
Wow. Wow, that's quite a process. Production line he's got going.
So you get used to handling, when you can handle a 24-inch flat platter that's raw, you gain a feeling for what it'll take and what it won't take.
Yeah, I always say to myself, soft hands, soft hands. Uh,
Yeah.
but so tell them, people who are listening, about the clay body yourself. We at times have people say that, oh, this mug gets way too hot when I, zap it in the microwave or something like that. And we always say, well, less than a minute is okay to warm up your coffee. But what do you say is the right thing to do with regard to your pottery?
Um, I think that you're right on that. I think that warming stuff up is a good use. I don't have things that you bake in, casseroles or things that you put in the oven for the most part. So I don't see that as part of it. Um, Also, I think certain pieces can get warmer and I'm not sure exactly why, or if it's the microwave.
Huh. It could be, just the molecular setup of
Yeah,
the microwave.
some microwaves that have more sources for the microwaves. They have like 2 spots on them, and sometimes that will cause
Oh,
them to get warmer. They're more effective, they're more efficient, but they're supposed to be more even. But I
uh-huh.
know the old microwaves had a different wavelength to them, and a lot of things got hot, and they changed the way the microwaves came out. I know that doesn't make sense, but they changed the length of the microwave, and it got rid of the pieces getting hot so much.
Uh-huh. Do you do commission work ever?
I do when I want to do it. Well, I guess I would say if it has interest, I think that's when you want to do something. When it's more of a I don't do this, but you want me to do it, doesn't ever seem to turn out with the creativeness that you want to do.
Yeah, that's so true. What a customer might envision in their head is usually so different than what you think they're envisioning, and it's difficult. Commissions are a hard thing. So,
Yeah.
do you have any pieces that came out of the kiln and you went, "Oh my goodness, this is fabulous. There's no way I'm going to sell this." Like, do you have several of your own pieces?
How long have I been doing this again?
Hey, come on. So
No,
do you have
very
20
rarely,
of your own pieces?
I very rarely keep my own work. I
Yeah,
collect other people's work.
right. Yeah,
I have
I either.
Well, I have Julie Deaver's blow bowls that I use all the time.
Yeah.
I have some of my pieces that are from when I used to make dinnerware and it was made out of stoneware.
Okay.
My kids collect my work.
Yeah.
They for a while I did a black and white series, and that's what my youngest daughter has. She has all the pieces she took with her to Portland, Oregon, were
Okay.
black and white pieces.
I like that. I like that series a lot.
Mhm.
I remember that one.
it The hardest part about that was I liked it, but um, I was known for color, and I never was able to grab the black and white market the way I wanted to, and I still have to pay the bills.
Yeah, I remember those, and we tried to sell them, and people, for some reason, it didn't resonate with them. And I thought they'd be great for, especially along the lakeshore. And
I
yeah,
had people that loved them and bought several pieces in them, and were sad when they couldn't get any more. But it's it seems to be a smaller audience than the work I have in color.
yeah, yeah, definitely. What are you going to do a certain color range this year, or are you just going to keep mixing it up?
There's always seems to be something new coming through. Right now, we're working with a lot of yellow, and there's a new stain that's called mint, and we're trying to find the right intensity of that to go with other pieces.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead, Bob. You can talk.
Want me to get some?
Bob might be able to find a piece that's called electric and mint,
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can pull it
mint,
up.
mint and yellow, something like that. We'll show you the new colors. It's um, it, it it's takes longer to introduce a new color in clay than it does when you're painting. I
Yeah.
mean, on a painting, you have a palette, you mix the color, you can apply it. In clay, you mix the color, you can't really tell how it's going to come out in terms of intensity, but you have to fire it through the process to find out what the color actually is.
Yeah, people don't really understand how much time it takes for us to try
Mhm.
new things. Oh, nice. So we've got yellow with some green.
That this yellow is mint.
Oh, okay.
And then the combination, this is a navy called electric, and flame, which is the orange.
I like that.
I don't know if you can see on this one, there's two colors of yellow. There's a bright yellow and a squash yellow.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
you can see the bright yellow on the top of this, and this one has squash yellow. What you can't really tell is on the bottom of this, there's a squash yellow to it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's one thing. It's nice. We do these virtual Wednesdays where we pick people up and we hold them closer to the camera so people can actually see the colors. And pick up the bottoms of one of those, because I think on every single one of the bottom of your pieces, you sign them. And I always say to people, look at that signature. It's so cool. You know, so even when you pick up the bottom of a pot, you know, you get this nice little like, oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks like a design. And
Yeah, no,
from
I love that.
signing thousands of pieces so many times, it's like a doctor signing prescriptions. It's like
Yep.
it has changed over the period of time. It's flattened out. It's gotten more stylized.
Well, it's again, it's just another part of your design, which is really nice. So, do you have anyone that you talk to about pots? I know you probably talk with Bob a lot, but when you're trying something new or a new color pattern, do you have a go-to person that you wrestle with?
My youngest daughter is also an artist, and she has um, grown up with me in doing shows and looking at colors, and her artwork has a slightly different palette, and I think that she helps me realize that there's a younger market for my work if the colors are slightly different.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've been talking about that too in the gallery, that we want to
Right.
lower our customers' age. And it's, you
It's
know,
always a challenge to find the younger market, especially when most of them shop online.
right.
Um, a few of them come to, like I said, I do the farm market, and they've found me at the farm market and really enjoy the work because it's one, it's not plastic,
Mhm.
it's reusable, it's the 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 current trend, and I think that's helpful. And then they follow me on things like Instagram.
Right.
So I'm going to show you a mug.
Oh, okay, nice.
Then when I drink out of it, you can see the signature goes across.
Yep. With
Okay.
the handle. Yep.
Yeah, all my mugs get signed for right-handed people. I know not everybody's right-handed.
I had somebody say that to me, and I was looking at my mugs and I went, oh my gosh, it's true. It just happened. I'm left-handed. And
Right,
so my decorations were going for a left-handed person. So
right.
now I consciously think about that and make sure that I either mix it up or there's two interesting things on either side so
Yep.
that somebody doesn't say to me, well, I can't use this. And it cracked me up when somebody came up with that.
Well, I think that you found your special niche by being left-handed.
Oh, really?
Well, you need to name your pottery left-handed pottery.
Well, there we go. Here, I thought I was C2C, but what are you thinking about making this year? Like, I know that life is so different and we're not doing shows and we're not um, getting to interact with people as much as we were. I know I'm thankful for beginning an online business, and we're trying to, like, this is a way that we're trying to interact with people. What do you want to make this year that's different?
Um, I honestly haven't given it as much thought because right now everything is so closed down.
Right.
And I'm waiting to find out if there's actually going to be a show this year.
Mhm.
That's one of the other things that I'm part of is a production company that has a show here in Kalamazoo in February,
Right.
and that's not going to happen this year. And there's also a lot of um, shows that are as late as fall that think they're going to happen, but they thought they were going to happen last year and they didn't happen. So right now I haven't thought about that. I think the other thing that I'm doing is putting a few things up online, that kind of thing. So I'm going to move these back.
I know we'd like to have some new pieces to put up on for C2C, and Sarah and I have been talking, and oh, that's interesting. Oh, I like that, Michael. I
So
like how
that's-
you took your original form and then you built up from there, and
Right.
that's a great piece. Plus, it will photograph great. Oh,
The
it's
detail on the
beautiful
inside.
side. Yeah.
So
How much will that sell for?
2.25.
Okay. And for me, that's a decorative piece. I would put that on a sofa table. I would put it on an entryway hall table.
Could be.
Huh?
It could be. That's what I was thinking, is to feature the artwork that's on the outside. But I'm always genuinely surprised at people that still use collectible work, i.e., and we know them by name,
Yeah.
but that use collectible work that they've spent $400 or $500 on a bowl, and they still use it
Yep.
to enjoy the functionality of. So this is still food safe and functional. So
I mean, wouldn't that be fabulous to put a huge salad in it, or put,
right.
I mean, and you and I both know, because we've drank the Kool-Aid, we love to eat off of handmade. And, you put
Right.
it out on your table and instantly your table has this interesting character.
Well, and I see this color. This is the flame that gets airbrushed on for the backdrop. You can see the inside is a lot of that. I can see spinach salad.
Well, that'd be
With-
beautiful.
Yeah, with avocados and orange slices and a little blue cheese dressing.
Oh, that'd be so yummy. That'd be great. Yeah, no, it's that's probably one of the best things about doing the guild potlucks is everybody brings their food on handmade pieces, and then you look at that table and it's fabulous.
And that's what you should do every day when you set a table. Enjoy what you've got that's handmade.
Yep, and I do it. I think you probably do it also.
You.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And we just got to find more people that want to really enjoy their home, and just, it does
And I
add to the day. I believe
My
it.
kids, I'm sorry, my kids ask me who it is that they're eating off from. I mean, that's always been the case. There's a Michael Kahn from California, and he's also here in Michigan.
Oh.
He makes the work porcelain, and then his wife is Asian, and she does the drawings. And sometimes they're crickets, and sometimes they're flies, sometimes they're beetles, sometimes they're cockroaches. It just depends on what it is. But I have a set of rice bowls that have beetles and flies and cockroaches in the bottom.
That's a little
And-
creepy.
Well, it was interesting because you would have stir fry that night, and you'd find out what bowl you had when you got to the bottom.
That's awesome. I'll never forget when so I've got kids that are both sides of the brain, and one set they're both lawyers, and so I gave them dishes for their wedding, and they have people over, and one day one of my daughter-in-law's brothers comes over and is eating off of things that are handmade, and he is like, wait a second, you're telling me that your new mother-in-law made these? It's like, they're so well made, and oh my gosh, I want these. And he never even knew, and here's an educated person, that you could use handmade and actually use it and go in the dishwasher, and actually I always say abuse them much more so than production made. And
Mhm.
that's the beauty, I think, of what we do.
I have an idea.
What?
I'd love to suggest to the new administration. They're very into things that are made in America, but they've only had one set of dishes, and that was by John Blick for the
Right.
vice president, Mondale.
Mhm. Yep.
That's the only thing in the whole collection that's ever been made in America. Why in the hell don't they make it a clean sweep and make the dishes made in America this time?
I so agree. I think that's a great idea. I think all the potters should start sending some notes to the White House, and they should select a set of handmade dishes.
I think they might have a lot on their plate, but you never know.
Yeah, maybe if he gets elected a second round, maybe that could be part of it. Yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to show us today or tell us?
I can try and turn this around and see if you can see the studio before you go.
Oh, that'd be great. Let's try
Okay.
that.
What you see behind me is the spray booth,
Uh-huh.
and the colors that you see. Again, you have to talk to me when I'm doing this because I'm
Right.
off the side.
Yep, you're
That's
fine.
the CD collection.
Yep, with different little containers of glaze for colors.
Yep.
Your stereo.
In the stereo, and that CD collection is what I used to listen to. Now I listen to what's called satellite radio.
Oh, yeah, that's fabulous. What's your favorite station?
Deep Tracks. Jim Ladd, he's a old DJ. He's live from 5 to 9.
Okay.
And then obviously this direction over here is the workbench that we have, fixing things, making things. That's part of being a potter. You wear a lot of different hats.
Definitely.
And then I'm still trying to see and there's a cart to move stuff around. It's also for drying platters.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's the casting table.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Looks like it has a dowel ladder on it, and then the tank is below it. And then I don't know if you can see there it is.
Very efficient.
It looks like a gas hose, and that's what you pump it in with.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pull back here a little bit so you can see it. That's the wheel.
Nice. I
And
like
then,
the table.
well, it's a original Saulner.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it was a Sodner. Yeah.
Yeah, but the tabletop is custom made. I don't know if you can see it, but it has a catch on it and a drop. I don't use a splash pan.
Yep, that's awesome.
You can see the white, those are plaster molds.
Yep.
Okay. Let me see if I'm trying to see.
Got a slab roller there and your wedging table.
Yep.
You have scale for
Yep.
when he's throwing, so he knows when he's throwing like a 3-pound bowl or a 5-pound bowl.
And then
You have good lights too. That's always important.
yep. And you can see the pegboard behind the slab roller. Those are all hand building tools.
So I want to show people that Michael wasn't necessarily going to show us his studio, but he's very organized, and he has a place for everything. And it was one of the things I noticed the first time I ever visited your studio.
Just easier to find stuff.
It is, because otherwise you have too much stuff.
And then I'm going to see if I can see down here. Can you see the containers?
Yep, all your tools. Yep, wood
Yep.
tools, brushes. Yep.
Okay. And then I'm going to come back up. If you see up above,
Yep, you have your plaster molds for open bowls.
those actually fit on the wheel,
Uh-huh.
and I lay a slab over them and create the bowls that you have that we
Yep.
call fruit and
Fruit
pasta
bowl.
bowls.
Uh-huh.
Those are made on that with the foot ring being thrown on.
Yep, which makes it nice.
Trying to see what else I have. Stuff on the cart.
Yeah.
That's the work table for hand building.
And you've got some things in process.
Yep.
Oh, that reminds me, we need utensil holders. I think we're
Okay.
down to 2 in the gallery, and I know we need some more fruit bowls.
That's what we can do. What you see on the cart are called bud vases. We also use them for toothbrushes and whatever. But if you're familiar with kilns, you need kiln filler all the time.
Yes, you do.
That's a small thing that'll fit in between 2 larger bowls, and so you don't lose the space.
Right.
to, you know, I mean, sometimes you do, but a lot of times you don't.
Yep. Nope. You need to do that. And I think we wanted to add those to our inventory also.
Right. And I'm also thinking that eventually I need a new mug. I've been making the same mug in that size for a while. And then I guess if you're asking what's new coming, I think I want to make a smaller, more of a 8-ounce, 8-ounce mug, something that's, I don't know, not everybody wants a big mug.
Right. Yeah. I think like this one in my hand, I'm in a rental house right now and there was nothing handmade in here. So I had to find a potter and bought a handmade mug. And this is exactly 8 ounces. So let's see how big.
Mhm.
Like
And then this is something that I haven't used in probably almost a year, but it's a pneumatic extruder. And that means that you have, it's the best description people always understand is it's like extruding Play-Doh.
Right. Definitely. And you've
Yeah.
got it powered. So it's so much easier.
Right. It's pneumatic, it's compressed air. And I make all the dyes that you run it through.
Nice.
Okay, this is down the hallway. I'm only looking at this from the side.
Yep.
These are carts that stuff gets moved around on that are on wheels.
Right. Oh, there's some finished work. Now your kiln.
There's kilns, and this is where I photo some of the stuff.
Where's your kiln? What kind of kiln do you have?
I have an even heat and I have an L&L.
Okay.
And then there's shelving for finished.
Yep. See,
Work.
guys, he's got lots of work. So we
Right.
need to.
And then one of the things if I can turn this around a little bit and step back, this is a long bench for packing work on.
Big area.
To
Yep.
be sure to sit out. Yep. And then the all important
Washer and dryer.
washer dryer.
Our household
When
needs.
when you're at home, you share a lot of space.
You definitely do. Yep. Well, hey, thank you very much. What were you gonna say?
It just means that it's lifestyle. You're always in touch with what's going on in the studio by being in the same vicinity, you know.
Definitely. It's one of the best things about having a home studio. You can work on some things and go do dinner, and then you can check on it and change the covering and all kinds of things. So it is
You
a good
can
thing.
load the kiln in your pajamas.
That's right. And you can unload it in your pajamas. So thank you.
Well, it's
very
nice
much.
talking to you. If you have any other questions, let me know.
I will. And this is C2C Gallery. You can find us online at letter
Are you there?
C. I'm here. Letter C, letter 2, number 2, letter C, gallery.com. And if you have any questions for Michael, send us a message and we will get them answered for you. So take care and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.